government of KwaZulu-Natal need to be congratulated for a lot of public information around the terrible events that are going on over this weekend. I think secondly, obviously, we are going to have to climate-proof our infrastructure, and that means that we're going to have to look at where we have settlement at the moment and where it is in relation to 100 and 200-year floodlines. But also we've got to look at the complex issue of ecosystem restoration. One of the things that nature does in untouched biomes is that nature provides for flood absorption and space for flood waters to go to. Part of what we're going to have to look at is how are we going to absorb the natural systems of flood absorptions, reconstitute wetlands, make sure that we clear river systems of alien species so that there is adequate space for water to flow. And of course, linked to that, how we deal with drainage and runoff, and making sure that our drainage systems are able to cope. What we're expecting as a result of climate change is you're going to see an alternation between drought conditions and then extreme amounts of water in a very short space of time that will lead to flooding. And so you're going to need to build infrastructure that can cope with these extremes, water storage on the one hand and flooding on the other. Nature provides this system in what we call wetlands. Wetlands store water for times of drought. They absorb water in times of flood. Unfortunately, as human beings, we've interfered a lot with these natural systems. And we are busy working together with the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal at the moment to research the floodlines, to research the flood absorption capacity, and to look at how, as we build back better, we can be utilizing both natural systems and ensuring that human intervention is appropriate for potential extreme weather events.
Minister, just a final question from me, and also just off the back of what you've said about climate-proofing our infrastructure. I would imagine that's also on a long-term basis. But just in terms of, your utterances about the importance of early warning systems and effective rapid response to disasters, particularly when you look at who the people who are most vulnerable are the ones that are affected in cases like this. I mean, also in the back of the 6th assessment report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, saying by 2030, 50% of the world's population will live in coastal areas that are exposed to floods and storms like we are seeing in KZN at the moment.
Well, I think that public information is very important. One of the very moving visits I had to KwaZulu-Natal was to the transformative riverine management project, where communities that are living in floodplains and living in informal settlements are being involved as enviro-champs, are being given information about the potential of floodwaters. And in fact, on the night of that terrible storm on the 11th of April, were being fed information from satellite early warning systems. And in the Quarry Road West informal settlement, where 450 homes were swept away on the night of the 11th of April, those enviro-champs were actually able to save all community lives except for one. And I think that what this tells us is that it's very important that we work with people and with families, and very often it's women and children in these situations, so that they understand what can happen, but they also are given the power to respond when an emergency situation arises and take proactive decisions to save the lives of their own lives and obviously their family lives. We don't have to be totally powerless in the face of climate change, but we do have to make sure that we are building partnerships that give knowledge and give appropriate actions to those who are living in particularly vulnerable circumstances.
Minister Barbara Creecy, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it.